we've got some welcome news about, well, your lunch. If you're a meat eater, prepare to pay less this year. After the price of foods like beef, veal, and eggs shot up in 2015, they're expected to ease and maybe even drop in the year ahead. Here with the details is Marketwatch reporter Maria LaMagna. So Maria, before we start and look at the year ahead,
Yes.
Tell us why prices were so high last year.
Yes, so the price of groceries overall went up just about the same as it does every year, about 2%. But in some specific categories, beef and veal specifically, and eggs, the prices really shot up. For eggs, we saw an increase of almost 17% from prices last year.
Which is huge, right? It's usually 4%.
Exactly, it's usually about 4%, so that was a huge increase, and probably everyone shopping for eggs noticed it this year, mostly because we had the worst avian flu that the U.S. has ever seen, so that clearly, impacted, I think it was about 32 million egg-laying hens were killed in the last year. So egg prices really shot up because of that. And for the beef and veal, it was mostly because of droughts that have impacted Texas and Oklahoma, mostly starting in 2012. And it just takes the beef industry a while to recover from something like that.
Right.
It takes about 16 to 18 months. So we were still seeing the effects last year of droughts that happened a couple years ago.
Right, because you can't raise a cow in 5 months and have it back ready for consumers to eat.
Right. It took them a while to, just get back up to the levels that they used to produce.
All right, so looking ahead, last year we also saw sugar prices were high, candy, gum.
Yes.
But economists are a little more optimistic about 2016.
Yes.
What can we expect?
There are some great factors at work to keep our grocery prices low. One thing is that oil prices are low right now and have remained stable. So if that continues to happen, the economist that I spoke to for my story said, that's a great sign for our groceries for next year. And hopefully the industries are going to recover from some of these one-off type events like an avian flu and droughts that were impacting this last year. Who knows what's ahead, but hopefully those one-off events will not carry through to 2016.
Right, and you can't predict things like the flu
or
certain diseases, but we do know the dollar is pretty strong, gas prices are low. How do these outside economic factors impact the price tags in grocery stores? Yeah,
it's pretty interesting. Clearly for oil prices, it's things like shipping goods across the United States, even packaging is impacted by oil prices. For the dollar, that was actually one thing that really helped fresh fruit prices this year, was that, we import a lot of our fruit, and so having a strong US dollar was really helpful for that.
Interesting, and we didn't really feel the effects of the drought then.
Exactly. Despite the California droughts, we still had pretty cheap fruit this year. So
makes sense.
Yeah, so a strong dollar and low oil prices will be really helpful going into 2016.
Great. Well, sounds good for consumers.
Yeah.
Maria, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.